If it's love, I want everything. Touch my soul, touch my heart, don't judge my mental. They told me that life is simple, been real since Papa Pimple. I started out in the rental, Sonata, the presidential. Speak once and listen twice, they told me that less is simple.
GATV was good, y'all. Was good. Ever been annoyed by a person who plays it one way, then another way? Well, the curious case of Mysonne, the rapper slash activist slash ambulance chaser, goes at it again with another yet hypocritical standpoint that he wants the world to know. And before I get on my commentary, I'm just gonna play the video that he dished out, and I have to dissect this. A lot of you guys that come up in my comment who ain't trying to support me, who always have something to say, you guys fit this narrative because I know what you're doing, and it's okay. There's therapy. YouTube won't give you the fixing you need. There's things about y'all souls that has to be healed. So let's go ahead and drop this clip, and I'll let y'all know what I'm talking about.
When you decide that you create a situation and now you the victim, now you going to courts with suits, that's not who you said you was, beloved. That's not who you said you was. And I'm just and I'm saying this because you've sold a fake image to these babies, these kids. I never tried to sell I was the biggest gangster. And then even after the situation, you went on every outlet talking about you was new pop. You wanted to put out albums and talk about how you shot this and how you do this and you gangster and you grab the gun. That don't, the part of what you coming with comes with being able to deal with the accountability. And I'm gonna brag about doing this and that, and I'm gonna deal with the consequences that come with it. These dudes that you following, these dudes that get up here every day and tell you how tough and how gangster they are, they not. Soon as they get in that room, and then people say you're gonna do 20 years for your part, they're gonna try to figure out how do I get to tell you somebody else's part so I can get out of it. That's what they're gonna do. They don't wanna deal with no accountability for what they did. They ain't do nothing. They just want you, they want the benefit of it. They want the benefit of the gangster tough shit that come with it. Cause I'm gangster, and that's what my issue has always been with Bozo Ave. You're not like that. Not like that. You're not. But I know better. I've been outside. I've been in these trenches. I've been in this. That has to do with respect as a man. Is you made this conscious decision that whatever comes, whatever lifestyle, you willing to deal with it. Leave the streets alone, man. It's nothing in these streets. It's nothing in the streets. These dudes will trick you. It's dudes like that that'll trick you out your freedom. Because you think that you got a worthy adversary. You think, oh, we're going to fight, boom, boom, we're going to do this. We're going to keep, no, that's not what's going to happen. These dudes is going to provoke you, they're going to put their hands on you, and when you respond, they're going to send you to prison.
So basically, Mysonne is responding to Troy Ave, who testified in the case that's involving a 2017, shooting incident. It was during a nightclub, performed, a performance by T.I., a couple of other celebrities, and his opposition, Taxstone, who was an up-and-coming, artist himself, especially in the podcast game. He's a self-proclaimed gang member, aka about that life, the typical usual, whatever. But Mysonne is going in on Troy Ave, for testifying. And before I get in any other direction, let's address that. So, Mysonne, I have a question. I've always been wondering, how does it feel being torn like that? I'm saying being torn because, dude, you're suffering through a activist street nigga complex. A lot of you dudes are, man. I figured this out, I think, back in middle school. A lot of us aren't privileged enough to really be content with who we are at our core. The roots that defines you when you're not with your boys, not in public, not in any social settings. I'm talking about when you're alone. And one of the deepest things people sometimes try to stray away from is being alone with your thoughts. standing in front of that mirror, how do you feel being torn? Then again, on the other hand, you probably don't give a fuck anyways. I mean, it's grift season, y'all. It's grift season. Mysonne, I have a problem with somebody like you that's literally putting in the air things that can throw out how these young men and women should be out here in terms of upstanding, becoming better citizens. It's not for an image, but I know these are the things that they can pass on to their children, and it benefits their family, because we all reflect each other when you come from that seed, man. But this brother is going against Troy Ave for what he, did. Some of you might agree, but here's my thing. This is why you gotta leave street politics alone, man. The goalpost is ever changing. When I was growing up, man, snitching was me and my brothers having horseplay. I might have dropped a lamp. Rather than him letting me tell my mom I did it or not, even if I don't admit to it, he'll go tell my mom. That's a form of snitching. We go do a crime together. We both know the consequences. I get caught. I'm feeling some type of way. Maybe I'm mad you ain't get caught and I want you to share that rap with me. I give your name. Or maybe they're offering me a reduced sentence. I give your name. I always thought that was ratting, man. But I didn't know it was ratting when your boy gets murdered. You gotta go back to the family and explain that. You get shot up and all you're doing is testifying to the account of what you did. See, once you get in the world of worrying about snitch politics correlated with street politics, it's BS. So my problem with Mysonne, because most of the people in this black culture does these conversations, and you're wasting time because it's nothing to gain from it. It's nothing intellectual that will help your life, especially if you have nothing going on in the streets. You gotta leave that word alone. But someone like Mysonne, I can bring this out to you, but what's the point? You're gonna continue on your fake BLM movement. Then you're gonna want to promote street culture. People, people take you as you come across as a genuine brother. You have these semi-conscious raps. On one end, you hobnobbing with certain, elements of criminal culture that happens to be rappers and happens to be people that you fuck with, associates, whatever. Those guys, you won't dare bat an eye and point out the BS they do. So what you do is you'll have a beef with a guy like Academics. I mean, seriously, you'll even blame an Academics for the entire chaos going on in Chicago right now. By the way, which it amped up even more. Chicago been having that internal battle, brother Mysonne, if you haven't noticed, since the 70s over there. See, this is the thing. We live in a pick and choose culture. Some of you might have saw that 2-minute clip and think Mysonne is doing what he's supposed to do, call out the rats. But here's my question to y'all. How do you have time to call yourself an activist and bettering your community, shaping it up and bringing it up, but then you're dwelling in street politics? That doesn't make any sense. This is why you gotta call out these phonies like this. See, the energy that you should be using is divert that crap away from what goes on in the street. Let another dude that's engaged in them involvements talk about that shit. Cause, supposedly you don't live that life anymore. Mr. did 7 years in prison like you did some upstanding thing. Dude, you and your homies was robbing cab drivers. And during your robbing spree, you happened to rob an old woman. That information been out there. And you claim you had nothing to do with it, so you didn't snitch. Not telling the world you had a toddler son who missed 7 years out on his father. But these are the things you guys uphold and glorify. So I'm going straight forward right now. Whatever commenter comes on my comment and give goofball energy where there's no point to what you're making, you're just commenting BS, because I feel like some of you are allergic to a brother trying to better himself, a brother trying to make sure he understands what he's saying. Maybe I'm formulating my words at a certain way that you're not used to, because I'm not trying to speak slang no more. I'm trying to take that out of my dialect. But because I know where I come from, I'm well-rounded, so if need be, that comes out with whoever it needs to. But in this space, I'm trying to be professional as I can be. Not to mention I'm a father, so there's certain ways I don't speak anymore. I'm not a child anymore. But I notice the guys you guys root for that will never get any of your doubts. I'm not one of those dudes. I stand by the things that I say. I don't care if you have a problem with somebody's coming, with some type of intellect and bringing in this space. I didn't say I know it all. I didn't say I've gotten all this figured out. But I understand growth, and that's what I'm a part of. I'm a part of being grown with it, growing, and so on and so on. A wise man once told me, coincidentally, a wise man knows he knows nothing at all. What is the point of that? Well, the point is, so every day is a learning day. So when I see a brother like Mysonne coming out, trying to go ham about Troy Ave, who, let's be honest, most of us couldn't give a crap about. Even if you are in hip-hop culture, you don't care about what Troy Ave has going on. But he feels the need to bring us yet another example of how to be down with the hood, not snitch, all this other stuff. This is the same brother running around when the George Floyd situation happened, talking about bettering the black community. Well, what you first of all do not do is promote street culture. Worrying about who's snitching or not, brother, is a form of being involved in street culture. Because what does it pertain to you? Who cares who's gangster or not, or how they, conduct themselves in the matter of law? It pertains to them and their families. And guess what, Mysonne? Maybe you think it's a street cred, it's a stripe on your jacket, because you allegedly didn't snitch about cab driver robberies and old ladies and did 7 years and was away from your family, specifically your son, for 7 years, brother. You think that's something to champion? Now, I don't know Troy Ave, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't give a damn what he has going on. But his son, for the sake of his son, thank you, brother, for staying free for that man. As if the statistics aren't against us. As if the odds are already not set in favor of us failing. So guess what? There's a young brother that has a high chance of making it out here, despite what his dad done. You act like Troy Ave snitched on somebody while they were doing a caper together. They were trying to do a robbery together. He was involved in a shooting where he had to defend himself, where his security guard is dead. What about that, brother? Instead of talking about Troy Ave snitching on Taxstone, why not talk about the victim that was involved, that was just doing his job trying to protect his man? That's the problem I have with you guys. That's who y'all cheerlead for, though. Y'all cheerlead the guys that give you the BS, man. The BS. I ain't gonna go on and on about it, man, but you know what it is. I just had to do this about Mysonne, and before I had a platform, all I could do is be in the comments, giving a few opinions. But I'm actually hoping this resonates one day and it reaches him, because I really want to ask that man that. How can you be an activist on one end but still try to maintain order and balance in a street culture, a culture that's all out of whack? Which one is it? It is time to now draw a line in that sand, man. We got young people so confused about what identity they fit, so their personalities are all out of whack. They don't know they want to be a street nigga one day, a good son the next day, a good father, a nice young modest woman, another AKA want to be young Miami, Amber Rose. You guys got these people all mixed up, man. And we gotta, come back here and establish order, yo. Establish order. For all of you that entertains the goofball mess that happens on YouTube, you're low-key co-signing foolishness like that. Something that has no message but detriment. It was your boy gravitating away, really frustrated with this one, because I think it was deeper of why I'm upset. It wasn't just because Mysonne is double dipping, one lane activist, the other lane street nigga. Nah, it's not that. It's really Mysonne reflects the majority of our community, where you guys make it hard for a young brother that just want to, get himself together versus focusing on fitting in with the crowd, man. That's the type of energy that I've always been against, and I've lived through all that crap you glorify. I've lived that. I've done that, but I will never boast about it here or try to prove to you what I've done out here to give you some type of simulation of who I am. Nah, man, that's for the birds, man. That's for the birds. Some of y'all really goofballs, man. Mysonne, really? Like, comment, share, subscribe. But like I always tell y'all, come back.